All right, hello everyone. Greetings from Missouri University of Science and Technology. Thank you so much for joining us for our webinar today. We will be focusing on information for undergraduate students who have been admitted to Missouri S&T and covering information that you need to know before making the trip to Rolla. There is a chat box, so if you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to type your questions in there, or then at the end of the webinar, we'll also have time for questions. So at that point, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question via voice, we can do that as well. So again, this is a pre-departure information session for those students admitted in fall semester 2018. Your presenters today are myself. My name is Jody Hazekamp, and I work in the Office of International and Cultural Affairs.
And my name is Hannah Helmick, and I am the Manager of Sponsored Student Services, and I also work in the Office of International Affairs.
So I work as our international recruiter, so working with international students like yourself and helping answer your questions and helping you with anything that you might need in the process of arriving on campus.
And I work with all of our sponsored students, so students who are receiving a scholarship for their studies, to kind of help sort out anything that they need before they arrive, work on getting their financial guarantee documents all sorted out, immigration paperwork, and that kind of thing. So anything that those students need, that's what I'm here for.
So again, congratulations on your acceptance to Missouri S&T, one of the premier technological research institutions here in the United States. We are so excited to welcome you to campus this fall. We can't wait to see you. So this is a brief overview of what we're going to discuss today in our presentation. So we'll start off by introducing you to the International Affairs team, your international advisors and other people in our office you may have been receiving emails from. We'll go over what immigration documents you need and the visa process, important dates that you should have marked on your calendar. We'll share some information about Rolla, Missouri, your soon-to-be new home. We'll talk about transportation to Rolla and important things that you'll need to do after arriving in Rolla, such as housing options, English testing, and enrolling in classes. And then finally, we'll introduce you to some international student organizations that we have on campus. So those are a great way for you to connect with some current students who can be a great resource for you.
Okay, so we have a couple pictures here on the screen of our immigration advisors. So all of you have been working with an immigration advisor if you already have your I-20 or your DS-2019 document issued. For those of you who don't have your I-20 or DS-2019 document yet, you will continue working with your immigration advisor in order to get that issued. These advisors not only help you all, our incoming students, but they're also here for all of our students who are on campus to kind of work through any immigration questions, make sure that immigration paperwork stays up to date. For students who are interested in doing a CPT or an OPT, some kind of internship or working after graduation here in the United States, these immigration advisors will help with that process as well. So the immigration advisors work with certain groups of students based on their family name, the first letter of their family name. So if you take a look below the immigration advisor's name, it'll say family name starting with, and then it'll have some letters. So that way you'll be able to tell based on that grouping which immigration advisor you will be assigned to. So we have three here up on the screen: Miss Kemmler, Miss Holly, and Miss Lewis. And then we also have three other staff members here up on the screen that you'll also see here in our office. Miss Jean Byer, Mr. Bill Elliott, and Mr. Coyne. So probably the person you've been emailing with the most is Brendan, Mr. Coyne, on the right-hand side of the screen. And so if you have any emails from him asking for financial statements or anything like that that you haven't responded to, be sure to send him an email back so we can work on getting your immigration paperwork issued. This is a quick intro and contact information for the Office of International Affairs. Our email, phone number, and website are here on the screen. Our office is located in 103 Norwood Hall, So we have, we're located in a beautiful old building on campus, and it's kind of easily accessible. It's convenient for all of our students to stop in. We are open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time every Monday through Friday. So if you have questions, need to contact us, we are happy to respond anytime during those hours. And we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible if you contact us over the weekend. So here is a list of some steps that you'll need in order to get your immigration documents issued and your visa issued. So the first one, all of you should have gotten an email already from Brendan saying, hey, congratulations, you were admitted. Here are the documents you need to submit. So we know that this process can be a little bit confusing, and there's lots of information in that email. So if you have any questions, definitely let us know. You'll need to submit a financial statement in order to prove basically to the United States government that you'll be able to take care of yourself while you're here in the United States. So usually a financial statement is something like a bank statement. For sponsored students, that financial statement would be like a financial guarantee document from their sponsor. Once that happens, you'll also probably want to submit a copy of your passport so that we can make sure to get the spelling of your name correctly and all of that on your I-20 or DS-2019 document. Then once your international advisor, your immigration advisor issues that document, you will arrange for shipment through the University Express Mail Service. The process is a little different for sponsored students, so if you have questions about that, you can let me know. You'll need to pay the CVIS fee. You'll need to schedule your visa interview appointment and pay your visa application fee. In order to schedule your visa appointment, you'll need your CVIS number. So if you don't have your I-20 or your DS-2019 already, but it's getting shipped to you at the moment, you can always contact our office and we'll be able to tell you what your CVIS number is, so you don't have to wait for your I-20 to actually arrive and have the paper document to schedule that visa appointment. You'll attend the visa appointment. They'll answer, they'll ask you some questions about the school that you're planning to attend, what you want to study, what your plans after graduation are, potentially that kind of thing. So you'll want to make sure that you know where Missouri S&T is and which program your I-20 or DS-2019 document is for. One thing just to keep in mind is that if you have not yet met the English language requirement, if you've been offered conditional admission and you have been issued an I-20 or a DS-2019 for English language studies, even if you hope afterwards to study, let's say, chemical engineering, when you have your visa interview, you'll want to make sure that you mention that you're going to study English. That way they don't look at your immigration paperwork and say, this is for English, but the student says they're going to study chemical engineering. The student's obviously confused, and then they deny your visa. So make sure that you know which program your actual I-20 or DS-2019 is for, okay? And then you should, get notified once your visa is approved, and you'll be able to pick up your passport and visa.
All right, next I'm going to talk about some important dates that you should remember. So you can arrive in the United States up to 30 days prior to your program start date listed on your I-20 or DS-2019. So just keep that in mind when you're arranging your flights and travel plans. We would like everyone, all new international students, to arrive by Tuesday, August 7th, which is New International Student Orientation. This is an event for all new international students, and we'll share some important information about getting settled into campus. We'll have different presenters from all different parts of campus coming from different departments, and you'll get a lot of your questions answered here. So we highly encourage you all to attend this event if you're able. And then the start of fall semester 2018 will be Monday, August 20th. So this is the first day of class. So if for some reason you are unable to attend New International Student Orientation, then if you need to arrive after August 7th, we'll have some makeup orientations after that. But please, please, please try to arrive before August 20th, because that is the first day of class and you don't want to get behind. So make sure you arrive before that and you can get checked in and get settled in before classes start. So a little information about Rolla is Rolla is located in Missouri, which is right there in the middle of the United States. You can see on this map right here. So it's a great location, centrally located on your winter or summer or spring breaks. If you want to travel to some other parts of the United States and do some fun sightseeing activities, you're right there in the middle. So it's really easy to do that. The city of Rolla is in a town of about 20,000 residents, so it's a relatively small city. That means that the cost of living here is going to be quite low, especially compared to larger cities and those on the east or west coast. The small, welcoming environment also is very safe and friendly. So that's another great feature of our town, and our international students really grow to love Rolla as their second home, and I'm sure you will as well. Rolla is located about 160 kilometers from St. Louis, so it's about an hour and 45-minute drive from the airport. St. Louis is the largest city in the state of Missouri, so you can easily, go to St. Louis for the weekend to have some fun, take a steady break, so that's something fun you can look forward to as well. Here's some pictures from our campus and city. So the slogan of Rolla is a city engineered for everyone, meaning that there's many different things to do here. So no matter what your hobbies or interests are, you can probably find something that you're interested in. You can see in the top picture of our campus, it was taken during winter. And we do get snow here in Rolla sometimes during the winter. We have 4 distinct seasons, summer, winter, and then in spring and fall, the weather is a bit more milder, but you'll be arriving in summer, so it will probably be quite hot. So just be prepared for that. Probably, maybe not as hot as your home country, but it does get pretty warm here in Missouri during the summer. You'll also see there's a lot of fun outdoor activities. So Rolla's surrounded by forest, so a lot of people like to do things like hiking, fishing, boating. There's a lot of really fun things to do outside. So the air is very clean here. There's lots of trails. So it's a fun time for all. So the next thing we're going to talk about is traveling to Rolla. So when you are making your plans and your flight, please book your final destination to St. Louis Airport. The airport code is STL. This is the closest airport to Rolla. From the airport, Rolla is about a 2-hour drive. So that means that you need to make transportation arrangements before you arrive at the airport. Make them in advance. One option is USA Express shuttle service, which is a local shuttle service. You can send an email to ia@mst.edu for some discounted rate information. Sponsored students, you can send an email to Miss Hannah at iasss@mst.edu, and she will provide you with some information about what shuttle options are available for you. Another option, of course, is to have a friend pick you up from the airport. So if you know any older students who are currently studying at Rolla, or you're able to connect with them via email before, you can always get some advice from them. Another thing to consider is making a hotel reservation if needed. So if you arrive at the St. Louis airport very late in the evening, you may need to stay in St. Louis for the evening and then travel to St. Louis or travel to Rolla in the morning. In that case, you might need to make a hotel reservation in St. Louis for the evening. Another thing to think about is where you're going to stay when you first arrive in Rolla. So if you're going to be living on campus, then you can move into your campus housing right away. But if you are an older transfer student who will be living off campus, you may need to stay in a hotel a few days while you look for an apartment or a place to live. So after you arrive in Rolla, the first thing you're going to want to do is check in with the Office of International Affairs. And you're going to want to bring your I-20 or DS 2019 with you, your passport, and your I-94. So as a reminder, our office is located in 103 Norwood Hall. Other important things that you want to do is get your university ID card made, activate your university email address if you haven't already done that, and open a bank account. Most international students choose to open a bank account at a US bank. There's several options here in Rolla, so we can provide you with that information, and you can also chat with some current students to find out their recommendation.
So here is some information about housing. Freshmen and sophomores are required to live in on-campus housing as long as they're under 21 years old. So there are quite a few different kinds of on-campus housing options. So a lot of students, when they think about on-campus housing, they think about what they have seen in the movies, maybe one big long hallway with lots of rooms on it and one bathroom that they share with everyone on the hall. So there are some options like that here at S&T if that's something you're interested in. If you want like a really authentic American dorm experience, that's certainly an option for you. But if you're interested in something a little bit more private bedroom, private bathroom, private kitchen, or just sharing with one other person in more of an apartment style housing, you know, there are a variety of options available. So you'll want to take a look at reslife.mst.edu, the website that's listed there, to see, you know, pictures and floor plans and things like that of on-campus housing options, so that you know exactly which type of housing you would like to live in. You can see pictures and all of that. You'll need to complete the housing application to apply for housing to get into the housing that you prefer. For sponsored students, if you would just let me know which housing option you're interested in, that would be really helpful. So for all the sponsored students out there, please do be sure to go ahead and complete the housing application, but please also send me an email telling me which housing you're interested in. And if you need to come early to campus, you can complete the early arrival form. I believe that it will be on the website sometime in July, on the Res Life website sometime in July, to just alert them so that your room is all ready and they know that you're coming early. If you will not be required to live on campus if you're over 21, you're welcome to take a look at some of the local real estate companies and their rental properties. They should have, quite a few pictures online. Investment Realty, Ground Realty, and Free Realty are a couple of options listed below, but there are more. One thing that we do recommend is that students don't sign any leases with any rental companies until you've had a chance to look at the property with your own two eyes instead of just looking at pictures, because it's important to make sure that you are aware of everything about the property before you sign any kind of contract. So we definitely recommend not signing anything until you come to Rolla. You can also contact some of our student organizations if you have questions about housing, if you would like some advice. They're usually more than happy to provide some suggestions. If you have received conditional admission, so that means you have been admitted because of your academic background, but you have not yet met the English requirement, or you haven't provided proof of meeting the English requirement, you will need to take an English proficiency test when you arrive to S&T that will be administered by our IEP, our Intensive English Program staff. So if you do already have proof of meeting the English requirement and you just haven't sent it to us yet, please be sure to send that our way. But just be aware that, if you haven't met the requirement or if you haven't provided proof of that, you will be required to take an English test when you arrive to S&T. So there's a couple different types of admission that you might have received. So some of you might have received full-time academic admission, so full admission. That means that you've already met the English requirement and you've already sent us your scores, so we know that that's confirmed, and you would start right away in academic classes, full-time. If you receive pathway admission, that means that you would be enrolled in part-time English classes and part-time academic classes. So that means that you have sent us proof that you have taken an English test and you have achieved at least a 5.0 IELTS or a 5.5 IELTS, or over a 67 on the TOEFL test. And based on what score you received on TOEFL or IELTS, would depend on how many hours you would take in English and how many hours you would take in academics. So that's the part-time option for students. And if you have a TOEFL score less than a 67 or an IELTS score less than a 5, or you just have not sent us an English test score, then you would receive full-time intensive English program admission, so our English program, and you would be required to take the English test when you get to campus. Based on how you score on the test, they might say, okay, we thought you were going to be full-time English, but now we will have you take part-time English, part-time university classes, or they might say, actually, you're ready to be full-time in the university, but that would be based on the results of your English test after you arrive to campus. So here's a little bit of information. We always get a lot of questions about when students can enroll in classes. So here's some information for you. If you'll be attending a pro day, then you would be able to register for classes on Saturday, August 11th. If you're a transfer student, then they have special transfer advisors for you so that they're specially trained to take into account any transfer credits that you have already earned and things like that, so you're not repeating any classes. And you would enroll in classes on August 15th. And then if you will be in the intensive English program, then you would enroll in classes on August 20th. But one thing that you'll need to keep in mind is that in order to enroll in classes, you will have to come to campus and check in to the International Affairs office. And you'll also need to meet with your advisor or a advisor so that they can tell you which classes would be good for you to take so that you make sure you stay on track to graduate on time. And they will have to remove some holds from your account as well to allow you to register. So you'll have to come to campus before you'll be able to enroll. Here's a little bit of information about some of our shining star graduates that we're really proud of, as well as the companies that are interested in hiring our graduates. So we have over 1,000 companies that come to campus, usually each year to recruit students. And we have one of the largest career fairs in the Midwest of the United States. So our graduates are in high demand. We always have a lot of companies that are interested in working with our students. So we actually have several offices of some very large companies here on campus because they're interested in collaborating with our graduates. So if any of you are familiar with Boeing, Boeing has an office here on campus and some other companies as well. So students can get some hands-on experience working with the company and they get the benefit of the great brains of our students. We have an average starting salary for students of over $61,000, which is fantastic. And many top corporations, such as you'll see listed here, we are one of their top key schools. So that means that when they're interested in hiring for some really key positions, they are interested in looking at graduates from Missouri S&T because they know that they will have a lot to contribute to their company. So for students who are interested in either working in the United States after you graduate, doing some kind of internship potentially, there's lots and lots of options for you.
All right, so this is a list of many of the international student organizations that we have on campus. There's actually over 300 different organizations, student organizations on campus. So no matter what your interests are, there's clubs for photography, clubs for hiking, people can get involved in plays and singing, all sorts of things. So there's all kinds of those clubs, but this is just a list of some of our international student organizations. So these organizations are really great for current students to get in touch with some of our new students to get in touch with some of our current students. International Student Club is made up of students from all around the world, including the United States. They do a lot of fun activities throughout the year. You can see on there, there's pictures from Diwali celebration, there's pictures from a spring festival that the Chinese students host, some pictures from the Saudi Student Association's big celebration. So lots of fun things going on throughout the year, and these students are more than happy to help new students come in and help answer questions. So A lot of them have Facebook sites or websites, or if you would like information on how to connect with a student from your home country, please just send me an email and I'll be happy to connect with you. If you don't see a specific organization for your country, that doesn't mean that we don't have students from your country here. We probably do. They might just not have a formal organization. So I can connect you that way. And then last but not least is Celebration of Nations. This is a huge international festival that we have here in Rolla. It's always the last Saturday in September. It's one of my favorite days. So earlier I'd mentioned that Rolla is a relatively small town, but I think Celebration of Nations is a great example of what a warm, welcoming place our town is and how we really embrace and celebrate the diversity of our international community. So the day starts off with a big parade. We have over 160 different countries represented in the parade with different flags and wearing different traditional clothing. Then in the afternoon, there is a festival that you can sample food from all across the world, lots of fun games for kids as well. And then there's also a talent show. So Celebrate Talent is an opportunity for all of the community to show off some singing, dancing, skills, whatever they may have. So as you're packing, if you would be interested in participating in Celebration of Nations, I would definitely encourage you to do so. You might want to pack some traditional clothing or something that you could use to maybe help share your culture with the Raleigh community at Celebration of Nations. We would love to have you participate. All right, so that is all the information that we have prepared for our presentation. You can see here is Miss Hannah and my email address. You can send us an email if you have any other questions. We'll also, if you'd like to unmute yourself and ask any questions, or you can type anything here in the chat box if you have questions, and Hannah and I will be happy to try to help answer them for you. Anyone have any questions? Well, if not, that is no problem. Again, you have our email addresses. So, oh, we got something. Hi. So you have our, okay, so we got a question about a packing list.
So maybe whoever asked the question, if you have maybe more details to the question, you can chat in. But if you're interested in knowing kind of what to bring to campus and that kind of thing, as far as clothes go, keep in mind that we have 4 seasons. So in the wintertime, it's pretty cold, there might be snow, so you'll want a big warm coat for that. And then in the summer, it's going to be pretty warm, so you may be interested in bringing something that is either pretty lightweight, that's kind of breezy, or that has, you know, short sleeves or something like that, so that you can be comfortable in the heat. And then the spring and the fall are kind of somewhere in between, so they're usually a bit chilly or a bit warm, but you can always bring light jackets or something to layer for the weather as far as that goes. Like Jody mentioned, you're welcome to bring you know, traditional clothes for our Celebration of Nations event, or if you're just interested in wearing your traditional clothes every day, that's also cool. What else would be good for them to bring? If you have, like, if you're interested in bringing bedding and that kind of thing, you're welcome to, but you'll be able to get all of that here in Rolla. You should be able to get kind of all the toiletries that you need here in Rolla as well. So anything that you think you have specific questions about, you can let us know and we can tell you whether or not it would be available here easily.
Yeah, a lot of the things obviously you'll want to pack, you know, some clothing, but you know, you will be able to do some shopping here. So if you don't have a big winter coat, that's not a problem. You can purchase that here in Rolla or somewhere in the US, because you'll be arriving in summer, so the weather will be warmer when you arrive. So if you don't have winter clothes, don't worry about that. You can buy that. things, yeah, like bedding and things. If you have like a favorite pillow that you just like can't live without, then maybe pack that. But I don't think it's necessary for you to bring like all your blankets and stuff. That's going to take a lot of room in your suitcase, and you can easily purchase that once you arrive here on campus, especially things like I've heard of some students like even bringing like pots and pans and stuff like that. That's not necessary. Like you can buy all of that type of things there. But maybe if there's anything special from your home country that you might want to bring to, pictures of your family, stuff like that, that might help you. But we can also put you in contact with some of our current students who have gone through this whole process themselves, and they might have some helpful tips on things that they brought that they really liked, or things that they wish they would have brought but didn't.
Hey, Jody.
Hi.
Hi, this is Shrishti.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that can I get accommodation off campus? I'm a transfer student.
So I'll have to double check on your status. I will send you an email. How old are you? Are you over the age of 21?
Yeah, I am 21.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, you should be able to live off campus. So probably the best thing I can do is put you in contact with the India Association, and they can maybe give you some recommendations. And a lot of times they might set up a thing where there's students who are looking for roommates, so they might be able to help you find a roommate if you're not wanting to live alone with some other new students coming in. So they have a lot of good resources that help students. So I'll send you an email with their contact information.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, no problem. All right, do we have any other questions?
Hi, Ms. Hazekamp, Ms. Helmick. This is Akash. I would just like to know when we come in August. My parents will also be coming in, so is there appropriate places to stay in Rolla?
Yeah, so we do have several local hotels that they could stay at. I would recommend that they make their reservation in advance, because there are a lot of families coming in during the summer to bring their new students. So sometimes the hotels can be quite busy, but if you make a reservation in advance, they should have no problem. And there are several hotels that are close to campus. So,
and those reservations are made online.
Yeah. So if you want to
Okay.
send me an email, then I can reply to you and send you a list of some of the local hotels that are here in Rolla that we'd recommend.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
We're excited to meet them when they
Yeah.
come with you.
All right, do we have any other questions? All right, well, if not, again, we want to congratulate you all so much on your acceptance to Missouri S&T. We cannot wait to meet you all here on campus. We're really excited. If you think of any other questions, please send Ms. Hannah and I an email, and we'll be happy to help you via email or give our office a call. And until then, we will see you all in August.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you.